Again, my name is Alex. I have a Instagram and YouTube Love Sugar Show, and we appreciate you being here with us. It's awesome, especially interviewing other females who are into like the music industry. Always love to support those too, so that's really awesome. So the first question I ask anyone I interview is, "How's everything going? Not just music wise, but even in your personal life."
Good is a short answer. It's, a weird time in general for everybody. And I've been really, really busy lately. So I'm good. Just a little, it's sort of that ramp up to the record release. So everything is just like, just trying to keep all the balls in the air and get everything done. So, you know, mostly fine.
Just a little hectic, right?
Yeah.
So, how do you feel now that the album is completed?
Oh, so good. So good. I'm so excited that we got, I mean, honestly, we recorded this. I've kind of had to go back and look, but we recorded this in October of 2024. Oh wait, it's on the record. Nice backdrop, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I might have stolen it, but don't tell anyone.
I won't. I won't. It's not copyrighted. Right? When did we record this? 2023. Yeah, I keep thinking that that can't possibly be right, but it is. Um,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so, we recorded it, and honestly, we recorded it in one day. We were in the studio one day. We were like, we're doing it, we're in, we're out, and it was great. We recorded it at Electrical Audio, which is Steve Albini's studio. I'm a huge fan of all of his bands, so it was really meaningful for us to be there with another friend of ours, Sanford Parker, who recorded us, which was amazing. But
Mhm.
then, just schedules and everything, everyone's busy. There's so many things to do. So it took us a little while to get around to mixing it. We recorded the vocals separately, so that took a little bit of time. Um, and then I designed the album, and that took time to concept. I built a whole thing in my right over here and like of dead flowers and things from my house and photographed it. So that took time to assemble, and then get everything printed and pressed. And so yeah, I'm extremely excited and relieved, to short answer, to have the album finished.
So, since it was done a few years back, I'm sure you've listened to it multiple times between that time and now. Is there anything that you would change on it?
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, the answer is always yes, but really no. I every time I listen to it, I have a song that I like better than another song. Every time it changes.
Yeah.
Uh, and so sometimes I think, oh, maybe I shouldn't have put that one on there, or maybe I should have waited and we could have written different things. But I think it's the perfect it's just like a snapshot of the band then, because Anna, who recorded the album with us, is no longer with the band. She just didn't have time to continue to pursue it, which was very sad for us.
Hmm.
And Jessie, who is our new bass player, is amazing and we love her, but it was sad. So it was kind of it's a great like snapshot of the band as it was then, and the songs that we wrote and played together so many times. So some days, yes, I would change everything, but really I think it's good the way it is.
So, here's a fun question for those who haven't heard the album yet. How would you describe it to them?
This is the hardest question. We are a noisy rock-ish band, sort of industrial, I guess, with a bassoon and an electric ukulele, along with a bass guitar and backing, like a drum machine with sound effects and, backing tracks that we build. Um, I don't know who to compare us with. I have asked everyone who's ever come to see us and all of my friends ad nauseum, like, how would you describe us? And no one really has a good answer. So just, yeah, we're like noisy, angry, weird instrumentation. I feel like sometimes we're kind of gothy. Sometimes I feel like we're kind of punk. I don't, lots of feedback, loud, angry.
So for anyone who watches the interview, put some ideas in the comments because we need to figure this out.
Yes, please, please listen to the album and then describe it.
So you mentioned electric ukulele. We have to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, when I started the band, I didn't really have any ideas about what I had some ideas about what I wanted the band to be, but I didn't have any really preconceived notions about how we were going to get there. So I put a post on Facebook to my Chicago girlfriends like, "Hey, does anybody play anything and wants to be in a weird band?" I'm paraphrasing. It was probably more eloquent than that.
Hmm.
Um, my friend Sally responded immediately with, "How about death metal bassoon?" And I was like, "Yeah, oh, yes, all right." And so through multiple lineups, I mean, I was even like, I don't care if you don't play anything. If you want to play something, like let's explore that. Like it's fine. It's kind of that punk idea of like you don't have to be great at it. You just have to feel it.
Yeah.
And so through different, I played bass for a while. We had a guitarist for a while. We had, just all these different sounds. And then when the guitarist didn't work out, we kind of regrouped, and I don't play guitar, but I play the ukulele. And
Hmm.
I had an electric one that I was kind of playing around with. Um,
Hmm.
and so we just kind of switched because it was, we found a bass player right away, and then that I had that and I could play that, so that worked. And so then it just became that. And then I got the one I have now, which I'm sorry I don't have up here. Sometimes I have it up. I have a ukulele here, um, but yeah, I just was like, yeah, I can take this. It looks like my electric ukulele looks like a little Les Paul. It has humbucker pickups and it's a solid body electric. It looks like a tiny electric guitar. Um,
Hmm.
and when, I can run it through pedals and it just sounds like a little angry hornet. It just really has this like buzz and whine, and it kind of balances all that low end we have from the bassoon and the bass and everything. And it has this beautiful, angry, like snarly layer on top of everything else. So
Hmm.
it worked out. So, things work out how they're supposed to, I guess.
And for those who don't know, can you kind of explain what a bassoon is? And I'll put pictures
Oh,
up here so you guys can see it too.
I should have looked this up, and I should have asked Sally. I just saw her too, because this isn't the first time I've gotten that question. So a bassoon is a double reeded wind instrument, um, often confused with an oboe, but it is not an oboe. An oboe looks like a clarinet that got cut, like shaved off the top. But a bassoon is like a long wooden instrument, and the reed is set on a mouthpiece that comes out like hooked from the bassoon. Um, I can tell you that it is very hard to play it. She gave me some lessons, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
But it has just, it has this really rich, warm sound, um, that really we found complemented the bass in such a beautiful way. Even on the record, there's an instrumental that Sally and Anna wrote together. Um, that just really brings out this play between the electric bass and the bassoon, which we do run through. We put some reverb on it, you know.
Yeah. Well, you're definitely the first band with a electric ukulele and a bassoon, so that's exciting.
Well, there should be more.
So, who are your like musical inspirations?
Mm. Swans. Swans is a big one. Um, I mean, I think I have to say Big Black, but I don't know if you hear that in our sound, but it's always in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
um, Coil, the band Coil, early industrial stuff, a lot of the early industrial stuff like Throbbing Gristle, um, Einstürzende Neubauten, um, and just a lot of that kind of like noisy, experimental, like angry, Killing Joke, even Jesus Lizard. Like there's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of those sort of like noisy bands that have really, really inspired me. There's a band from New York in the 90s called Cop Shoot Cop that I draw some inspiration from, but again, I don't know if it comes out too much in our music, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel they're always sort of in my mind when I'm making noise.
Awesome. So, what song on the album has a personal meaning to you?
Oh God, all of them. I I write all the lyrics and
Mm-hmm.
all the songs kind of. So yeah, a lot of them. Come in is kind of about, well, there's a lot of actually a lot of the songs on this record are sort of like delving into righting past wrongs through revenge.
Mm-hmm.
Like Come In is really transparent. I mean, in that way, when you listen to it, a lot of them, even if they don't address a specific, like something specific that happened, even if they don't address it directly, it's maybe a reaction to something. Um, a violent reaction, maybe. So yeah, I think all of them, all of them. Excuse me.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah, it's yeah, pretty much. It's like revenge, and you know that that was you did that, and now you're gonna die, kind of stuff like that. You know.
So is this taken off like personal experience, or it's just like something that you think about, like, hey, this would be a really cool theme?
Sometimes it starts with personal experience, like it'll start from something that happened and I maybe a long time ago even, but
Mm-hmm.
it's always interesting to kind of like pull up and re-examine those emotions, especially when you're writing songs. I really kind of approach writing from an emotional standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
So there might be a feeling I want to get across, or there's something that happened that evokes a certain feeling, and that's what I want to try to convey. So I might start with a personal thing and then kind of like take that feeling and dissect it and then maybe turn it so it's the other way around. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that was really hurtful, and now you should come here so I can hurt you, or like, or just kind of that like, oh, wouldn't it be interesting if you know it was the other way around in some way where basically like we as a band win and whoever we're talking to does not.
And that can be kind of healing too, I would imagine, because you can kind of work through those emotions and get the outcome that you want because it's your song, so you decide what happens.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is a lot of things I maybe have sort of already dealt with, but it is nice to sort of rewrite the story and reframe it
Mm-hmm.
exactly like you said, so that like it's the outcome that I want, that we want, and then
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully that sort of also rings true with other people when they hear it, where it's like, oh yeah, like I can fight through this too, or I can use that sort of anger and be empowered by that too, kind of.
For sure. I love music like that. It's always inspiring, especially, you're like, oh, that happened to me. But at the end of the song, you win. So it's
Yeah.
very healing.
Exactly.
So, what is something that someone may miss when they listen to the album the first time, but they may catch it if they listen to it the second or third time?
Oh, I think the complexity of the backing tracks is is maybe something that you wouldn't hear the first time through.
Hmm.
Sometimes it just kind of seems like an onslaught of noise, but there really are some subtle sounds. I use a lot of like sound effects, either that I've recorded from, the world, or like found in other places, and layered them and with different noises and sounds and soundscapes and things. So I think
Hmm.
really that the more you listen to it, I think the more you'll hear the just sort of like, if I do say so myself, cool and subtle things that I have built into the backing tracks. So
Well, that is cool. I definitely have to keep an eye out for those when I listen to it again. I feel like every time I listen to it, I catch something new each time, which is really cool.
awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
So, is there a lyric or a particular, I guess, line of lyrics that sums up the band right now?
Hmm. It's a good question. I mean,
You're like going through the whole CD right now. You're like, okay, what lyrics are there?
I'm like, excuse me, I have to sing all the songs right now. Please hold. Ah, man, I think the way that we are feeling, and I will speak for all of the band here,
No pressure.
the way that we are feeling about the state of our rights as female presenting people is not great. And so I think in that way, I refuse to give in to the system is kind of a little bit of a battle cry for us right now. Yeah, I find myself in when I'm sort of feeling like discouraged, kind of even repeating that to myself, like, no, refuse to give in, like refuse to give in to the system, and fight. And so I think right now, maybe that one. It might change tomorrow, but
It's okay. We have you on record for that one, but it can change tomorrow, so it's okay. So, how does each member of the band kind of contribute to making this album? Like, how did they help the album come together? Whether it's the songs, lyrics, maybe like a story that you're like, hey, those are going to be some good lyrics, or even the background, cover art.
oh yeah. Well, I admit I do a lot of it. Um but I think that Anna really brought this sort of like steady, like people who saw us live would sometimes call her our secret weapon, because she's
Mhm.
like, she was always super like steady, but you thought, I mean, the way she would just like glare at the audience and stuff, she really just brought this presence and attitude that was really, really great. And I think she brought that to the album,
Hmm.
of just this really, like, I mean, of course she's steady, she's a bass player, right?
Yeah.
But like she just really brought that kind of feeling to it. And then, Sally brings Sally. There's nothing, no one can do what she does. Usually we sort of construct the song. I'll construct the songs. Um, I I I do, well, I do sort of everything. I write the background tracks and the lyrics and sing and everything. But Sally will then come in and just put that bassoon like through and on top of everything and just kind of like finish out the song, you know. So no one can do that but her. She's the only one that can do it, you know.
Yeah. Well, how do you think that's going to change? Because I know you said that unfortunately she had to leave the band because she didn't have enough time. How do you think that's going to work out with the new member?
Yeah, I mean, Jesse and I haven't had a chance to write any songs yet, so I'm not sure yet. But live, she just brings like, she's been in a few bands already. She was in a band called Starless that is quite well known around here. Um, Kind of a different vibe than us, but so she really brings that like experience, and she's just kind of been there and done it before, which is great. But I don't know how it's going to change how our sound yet. We haven't had a chance to, we've been so focused on kind of like getting this record out, and we all have day jobs and everything.
Hmm.
So, we haven't had a chance to really sit down. We've started some songs, but nothing is finished yet. So it remains to be seen.
Are you optimistic about it?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I mean, the best thing about the band is that I always feel like it can go in any direction that we want it to go in, like I'm not so, of course I don't want anyone to leave, but if anyone has to for whatever reason because life, I
Yeah.
still feel like it can be an interesting project no matter what. If we have French horn, if we have violin, if we have just a guitar and a bass. I mean, not just, that's pretty awesome too. But,
Hmm.
so I always am disappointed when we have a lineup change, but sort of excited about what that will bring to the next thing. So I'm always optimistic about that. Change is a good thing.
It's scary, but sometimes it can be good. And like you said, life happens sometimes. So,
Yeah.
so did you try anything new in this album? Whether
Ooh,
that
well,
be instruments or different, I guess, mindset of lyrics or just anything that was different and new?
yeah, this is our debut. So I think I think I have to compare it to other bands I've been in, which no one's ever heard of, except Bloody Minded, but I don't write the words for that. Um, so I think just in terms of my contributions, I definitely tried to make sure that the lyrics and the songs were more truthful, and sort of like emotionally honest.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if I was ever really able to achieve that before. Um, and I think I'm always getting closer to getting better at it.
So it sounds like you had like more freedom than you had in previous bands to kind of, I guess, explore that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this is really like it's my band. I started it. I mean, and I am happy to help usher it in any direction that it seems like it should go in. But yeah, I
Hmm.
have more control and more say about how it sounds and what it sounds like to an extent. Sometimes it just sounds like it does. I don't know, it just happens. But yeah, I was able to kind of really explore the themes and the things that I wanted to say and sing about, and then kind of like really distill them down to what felt like a really truthful core, um, when I was singing them. So yeah.
That's awesome. Also, my cat apparently just popped up and wanted to say hi.
Please. Hi. It's okay. I'm surprised. I have a couple of dogs, and usually they'll like stumble in here every once in a while, but they're ignoring me today. So
Aw.
yeah,
Animals are so sweet.
I know, I know.
So, last hard question. If you had to describe this album in three emojis, which emojis would they
Oh,
be?
oh, emojis. Okay, okay,
Yes,
okay, okay. Fire.
they have so many nowadays.
I know there's even new ones. There's new
Mhm.
ones as of like this week, I think. I haven't explored all of those yet, so we're just gonna leave those out, not because we don't
Okay.
love them. Um, I usually am like fire, black heart emoji, and sometimes like knife emoji.
Awesome. So the great part about anyone watching this interview is when this is out, the album will already be out, so you don't have to just think about it. You can already listen to it, which is awesome. So if you don't mind just telling everyone where they can get a copy, and I'll definitely leave a link below so then everyone can just click and it makes your life super easy.
Buy it on Bandcamp, please. Yeah, we're on Bandcamp. As of tomorrow, we'll be on streaming services too. But the album vinyl is available only through Bandcamp. It's gonna be pretty. And streaming, you can buy the tracks on Bandcamp too digitally. So.
And is there anything you want to say to anyone who is already a fan or anyone who's interested in giving you guys a listen to?
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for even considering listening to us or listening to us already. We really appreciate that. It's really amazing for us to just have music out in the world, honestly. And hopefully it inspires anyone who listens to it to go start a weird band and then
Well,
come to Chicago so we can play together.
well, I think Chicago's where a lot of bands are that are very different. I've interviewed a few from Chicago, so I'm sure you'll have a few new bands eventually come out.
I hope so. I hope so.
Well, I want to thank you for taking your time for doing this interview, and as soon as it pulls up, I'll definitely tag you on Instagram so you can share it with your followers too.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was so great to meet you.
You as well. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
All right, take care.
You too.